Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Ribbon Lounge.
Welcome back.
Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast, that is.
Yes. Well, we're in the lounge. You're listening.
That means you're kind of in the lounge in spirit.
Yes.
We're in front of a live spirit audience. A spirit studio audience.
Yes, from the future.
From a futuristic spirit audience.
Yes.
They aren't students. They grown. Some of them.
Students?
Yeah. Some of these students are grown. They're becoming the master.
I thought you said spirits, not students.
I said both. I said a lot of words.
Student
say a lot of
spirits?
words in a lot of different orders.
Okay.
How are you doing, Davey?
Good. Glad
Yeah.
to be back in the lounge.
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever since we recorded, but we actually recorded like pretty quick in a row this time.
Yeah, we did like 3 real quick, and then we took, back to the normal schedule.
Yeah, your regular listener schedule.
Yes.
Hopefully, well, outside of all my bungles, apologies for the Moon Rocks episode not having audio. David, just to let you know I do a lot of the back end stuff, but for when you take it over in the future, it normally helps if you attach the audio file.
Yeah.
And then people will be able to listen to it.
But, it only took till Wednesday.
Yeah, not a big deal. I was on a little mental health vacation.
Yeah, it's always, everybody needs one of those.
Yeah. Then I got COVID.
Shit.
That was something else too.
Well, mild, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I am vaxxed and boosted, whatever that means for you people. That's my personal opinion or my personal preference, for whatever reason. And so I'm just glad, whatever the reason was, whether it didn't affect me or whether it was because I was had gotten the shots. I am super glad I didn't end up in the hospital. And
Yeah.
I quarantined. And you know what? Like after getting it, I thought I had a head cold. And then I got tested, found out I was positive, and I just hope I didn't give it to anybody else,
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's what I would care more about.
Yeah, and not being hospitalized.
Yeah. They go pretty close to neck and neck.
Yeah, which is why masks aren't always a bad thing. I know people like to bitch, but
yeah,
if you're feeling sniffly or something, to keep it to yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, these past 2 years, I have been happy to not be. I usually get like a 7-day bug,
right?
Headache, sneezing, stuffed up, can't breathe for 7 days, and I was glad to not have that for the past 2. Even so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend, Davey?
What did I do this weekend? A bunch of stuff. I tried to get that Diablo challenge burger from Arby's.
Arby's it's a challenge burger, Diablo challenge burger.
Well, that's what they called it because I guess when you get it, there's a sticker that's like, use this QR code to share the hashtag on TikTok when you do the Diablo burger or whatever sandwich challenge.
Oh, okay. How was it?
They were out of it.
What?
I think I missed my window of opportunity.
Oh, it's like the McRib.
Yeah, like a limited time.
Gone?
Yeah, they said they might bring it back. I don't know. The lady was really talkative about it.
She was all about it.
Yeah, well, she's like
the lady at the Arby's.
At the Arby's, yeah, this older lady who I guess they were just slow, and so she's like, "Have you tried it? It was really good, and people came back for seconds, and hopefully they bring it back." And
I just imagine somebody like took a bite of it right after getting out of the line and just drove right back into line.
Like, I'm gonna have to get this again.
Oh.
This is so good.
Yeah, I used to be really into getting the McRib.
Oh yeah,
and then I feel like it's just like progressively gotten more and more processed.
Yeah, and I feel like they don't make them as sloppy anymore.
Yeah, I feel like they make them too sloppy.
Oh, really?
And not in a good way. Like a good sloppy Joe is just like enough meat and it just like runs all over the place and gets on your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I've opened them up and like the patty has been sideways in the box.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, and you're like, I can't even pick this up without getting dirty.
But yeah, I just feel like the sauce and the meat stuff is not as it's just too processed for me.
Yeah, I think last time I got it, I chipped in for the extra $1 one.
You almost have to.
And then I was like disappointed because I usually like you take your fries and you get that extra barbecue sauce, but it was like not saucy at all. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to look out for that Diablo sandwich again. That sounds good. So it's supposed to be like So I like chicken sandwiches. If there's ever a
Yes.
spicy chicken sandwich, I usually get it. And I'm kind of a wimp.
Oh, okay.
So everything is pretty spicy to me. How are you on the old there's a scale for that, isn't there?
The Scoville.
Oh, is it Scoville?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go pretty far, but sometimes it's like if it's too hot, you're not enjoying your food anymore.
No, it's like a jalapeno is as hot as I'll go, and a lot of times if you get a good jalapeno, it's pretty spicy, but also like crisp and green.
You can get that flavor.
Yeah, that's what I like. I get a lot of tame jalapenos.
Okay.
And throw them on tacos and stuff just for that extra bit of crunch and stuff.
Or like a peppercino or a banana pickle pepper or something. Because then you get the peppery, but you don't get like all the heat.
Yeah, Bonnie picked a bundle of banana peppers.
Yeah.
What's the hottest thing you ever eaten?
This gummy bear.
A gummy bear?
Yeah, there was like a shit ton of Scovilles.
Shit, metric ass load of Scovilles.
Yes. There was like warnings on the box and stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And that was just like basically whatever the stuff is, like concentrate.
Okay.
It's like they just injected it full.
Like hot pepper juice or something?
Yeah, so it wasn't even like, oh, this is a little cinnamony. It was just instant like heat and gross and like
I once ate just a piece of okay, so if you were to take a pencil and look at the top down of the eraser,
yeah.
it's not very big, but like that much, a pepper thick, just like the wall of a pepper.
Okay.
But like that big, like the size of a pencil eraser of a Trinidad scorpion pepper, I believe it was. Supposed to be the second hottest natural growing pepper.
Okay.
Like a ghost pepper is pretty hot. This Trinidad scorpion is supposed to be hotter. And they make a bunch of like fake ass peppers. I mean, they're real peppers, but they're like cross pollinated and shit. They wouldn't happen in real life.
Oh, gotcha.
That's how you get those fucking wacko peppers.
Super hot ones. Yeah.
But this was supposed to be the second hottest pepper on the Scoville scale, natural pepper. And dude, I ate it. My mouth was fucking on fire. My mouth was on fire. My stomach started just bubbling. Like I just drank a bunch of acid or something. My body was just immediately trying to expel this thing from it.
Oh no.
I was at work too. I brought the whole pepper in for a couple of friends. My brother used to grow, he might still actually grow a bunch of hot peppers, but I brought them in for some friends. We all tried it.
At work.
We're all just crying at lunch. It was coming out of me one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I stepped like one step into the bathroom stall and I'm already puking as I'm coming down to the toilet. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And then you're puking and all this fucking hot pepper juice.
Yeah, it's coming back up.
It's like macing me while I'm puking. Oh God, it was terrible.
That's horrible.
Oh, it was. For the longest time, I wouldn't even eat bell peppers, dude. It was,
that seems bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like that gummy bear, like I drank a bunch of milk and it wasn't like rinsing that like film off my mouth. But then like we had a chocolate pie that we made.
Oh.
Yeah, and that for some reason I'm like, I should have just ate that.
Yeah. It could have been like the consistency of the pie.
Maybe, yeah. And it was also one of those weird ones where it's like got a raw egg in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or it's like a whipped kind of chocolate pie.
Yeah. And you know, like when you get a burn on your skin, butter really helps that.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of just eating straight butter.
Well, I mean, you'd maybe just cut off a slice and put it on your tongue or something.
Like a patty of butter.
Yeah. You got anything else going on or anything coming up?
No, not really. I haven't really thought about it. It's kind of in those, January, February doldrums where it's like, it's too cold to do much and there's not much going on, like, out and about wise because nobody wants to go anywhere. So, just kind of hanging out. I wanted to go see that new Jackass movie.
I did see that new Jackass movie is coming out.
Oh, I was gonna. You saw that it's coming out. You didn't see it.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah, I've never watched one in the theater.
Oh really?
And I've heard that if you got a good crowd in there, like a bunch of dudes, pretty much
Just laughing.
Yeah, just laughing their asses off at people getting nut shots and different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a pretty big ramp of vintage car shows in January.
Yeah.
Arguably two, but I mean, that's a lot more than
Two in 1 month is a lot.
Yeah. Plus the dead of winter. But it is February as we speak.
Yes.
Who knows when it is as you listen. But in April, on the 29th, is Vintage Torque Fest. Always look forward to that.
Oh, okay.
And then coming up, I don't remember if it's before or after. I think it's before is Viva Las Vegas. And so me and the wife will be driving out for her shop and shopabernathy's.com.
Oh, okay.
Check out Abernathy's. We'll be driving out to Vegas to vend and rock and roll out there for about a week.
Oh, that's cool. Is it like an Elvis thing, or is it like a vintage, like Las Vegas kind of deal?
Yeah, just a vintage lifestyle event is what they call it. And arguably that's what I think you would call Torque Fest. It leans a car show. Torque Fest leans car show. A lot of cars. But I mean, the amount of music there and the amount of vendors and stuff. Torque Fest is a lifestyle event, and then Viva Las Vegas is just like even bigger.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's at Vegas, so
yeah,
it's go big or go home.
Yeah, there's a good circuit of like really well established vintage lifestyle events that even foreign people come out.
Yeah,
and they hit like all kind of in a row when they travel to the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So like we've met people from like Europe, Australia, a lot of Japanese people. It's a really fun time.
It sounds cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got coming up, so I'm looking forward to those.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, in the future, I think the Rust Belt Clutch is coming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're on like a bucket list. I'd like to see them live once.
They've been here a lot.
They used to go to Ribco every once in a while, and I've never, because sometimes it's hard to have your finger on the pulse of local like shows.
Yeah, there was
unless you're out there looking for them.
Yeah, there's the Raccoon Motel in downtown Davenport.
Yeah,
is one that like things just pop up overnight. Although there's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, but you should check him out. His name is Clownvis Presley.
Clownvis Presley.
Yeah, and he's like a caricatured clown version of Elvis.
Okay.
And he's like a comedy musician and stuff like that. I've never seen him.
Yeah,
but he just, I guess, showed up at somebody's show at the Raccoon Motel.
Yeah.
It was not advertised at all. Most of the people that went there didn't know he was going to show up.
Yeah.
And he just showed up. And
he just showed up.
Damn.
Yeah. That's like a secret show almost.
Yeah, it's a sort of guerrilla show.
Yeah.
But yeah, this area is always been really good about music, I feel like.
It can be.
Yeah, like we were talking about with the One Night Standard boys on our first podcast of the year.
Right.
There's a lot of people that are into music that are in really good positions right now.
Right. That's what it seems like for shows and venues and stuff.
Well, Dave, I think all this talking is kind of getting my throat parched.
Are you parched?
Yeah, you want to crack one of these beers?
Yes, this beer looks kind of fancy. It almost looks like a Chanel No. 5 or something.
Chanel No. 5. I like how okay, so what we got here is a Phase 3 Brewing Company, and they are from Zurich, Illinois.
All right.
We had talked about the Central Store on the last podcast in downtown Moline, and I went there specifically for this Phase 3 Brewing. I had sent you a picture, and these guys were from Illinois themselves.
Right.
So I was excited to grab them. It says, keep cold, drink fresh.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat can. I'm trying to see. It's like it's fancy. And I think it's because it says here it's a Chantilly milkshake.
Yeah, vanilla Chantilly milkshake.
Yeah, so is this like supposed to be like Chantilly lace?
I think so. They have like this Phase 3. This is the first one I saw, and I didn't research the brewing company other than where they were from before I bought these. But they have like a strawberry, an orange, and this vanilla Chantilly. And they all kind of have the same design. This is kind of a silver on silver.
Yeah, I really like the sticker. At first, I thought it was like, oh, that's like on the like printed on the can, but yeah, no, it's. So far, I'm impressed.
Yeah, so this is a the vanilla chantilly milkshake, India Pale Ale brewed with vanilla, lactose, citra, and El Dorado. The city of gold.
Yes. So is it like Goldschlager?
Yeah, it's got little bits of gold. Cut your mouth up when you drink it.
Oh, all right. Make your poop sparkly.
7.2 alcohol by volume, and they came in tall cans.
Yeah.
We got here government warning.
Yeah.
So this phase 3, I did look them up on the way home from work today, and they are a 3-person owner. I think it was like Sean, Evan, and Brittany.
Okay.
I'm super close to these people. I know them by name.
By the first name. Yeah.
And I think Sean and Brittany are married. It sounds like they just worked in a bunch of breweries for a while. This Brittany girl is a graphic designer.
Okay.
So it sounds like she does a lot of the design and works maybe for the restaurant, or maybe they worked at a restaurant together and met before.
Is that all like on their bio?
Yeah.
All right.
And then they started this. They originally were doing 3 days a week in 2 different tanks using somebody else's equipment.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds like after like 9 months or like a year or something, they took off and ended up eventually buying this brewery company out.
All right.
And it sounds like now they
Getting
own
their own equipment.
Yeah, they own their own equipment and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'm ready to crack.
Almost like a mom and pop's brewery.
Yeah. Right at the top, I smell a ton of hops in here.
Well, yeah, that citrus smell.
Mm-hmm. That's very creamy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think is super creamy. I think I'd prefer one of the flavored ones.
Yeah, because that citrus or that hops taste. Because I was trying to find the vanilla in there, but
Yeah, I'm not picking up a ton of vanilla, maybe a little bit on the back end,
yeah,
but definitely a lot of the shake portion of the milk.
yeah, like the lactose or whatever.
Yeah.
That's just weird. I wonder if this is like a elitist beer,
What do you mean?
where they're like, oh no, sorry, this has lactose, none for you, lactose intolerant people.
Really cutting out a target demographic.
Yes, this is just for those lactose tolerant.
I would be interested to see how the fruited flavors change this. But
Like
this is a
with a
pretty good
strawberry.
beer. Yeah,
Yeah,
the strawberry, the orange. I'm a huge fan of orange. Like
yes.
almost anything artificially orange flavored, count me in.
You're in on it. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
Because now that you say that, I think when I take the bigger gulps, it does taste more creamy than if you just kind of sip it. Then it just looks like just tastes like a regular IPA.
Well, I poured it like kind of right this time,
Yeah.
so I didn't fucking overflow the head. But even still, like towards the end, I tried to get a bunch of head, and there's like no head on it.
Yeah, and it's
Super light.
yeah, but would you call that murky?
Yeah, I would call that like hazy.
Hazy. There you go, because you can't see through it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super thick. It looks like if you were to have a fake mug of beer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, hazy. It kind of looks thick, I guess, but I like it though.
yeah, I like it too. I'm going to try to pick up another one if I see one down there.
Of the phase 3 or of this milkshake kind of IPA?
Either both.
I wonder if they just have like a regular kind of, I don't know what a regular, like a beer that's with the lactose, like the cream kind of thing. Or wait, now that,
The lactose would make it the milkshake.
yeah. Well, now that I say that out loud, the PBR has like a kind of like the coffee is almost like a milkshake. Kinda.
Oh, yeah. That coffee, dude, I feel like there can't be any beer in that. I almost feel like that's got to be alcohol.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like so not beery at all.
And it does have that kind of like liquor kick.
Yeah, but if this was a chocolate, dude, like that would be really good. A chocolate or a cherry or something.
Oh, yeah.
My old lady goes ham for these. They're like pretty expensive, and they're kind of big glass bottles of like a cherry chocolate beer from Hy-Vee.
Okay.
And you buy them singles, but
Yeah.
but she goes ham over them.
Those are good.
Mm-hmm. Or like if you had a coffee chantilly milkshake, I could see that being really good in the morning.
Yeah. In the morning.
Well, yeah.
You got to calm the shakes.
Yeah, when you drink all day, you got to start in the morning, man.
True. That's why they make Bloody Marys and mimosas.
Yeah.
And coffee.
Yeah, PBR coffee beer.
Yeah. Or what's it? Bailey's?
Yeah, Bailey's Irish Cream.
Yeah.
Spice up your actual coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'd give that probably like a 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah. 4, 5, 4, 6. It's definitely one if, you're at that central, whatever it's called.
Central store.
Central store and you're just overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
If you see this phase 3 vanilla chantilly milkshake or a milkshake of some kind.
Yeah, if you see, and this is an Indian Pale Ale, and that's not something I would normally buy, but I don't pick up a ton of the hops on this.
Right. No, at first, but then
Yeah.
once you sip it a couple times,
Yeah.
it kind of, the edge kind of goes away.
Yeah, I like how we kind of found this niche of like drinkable fancy beers to where you can go impress your friends, but also like you're still good with drinking a PBR on the side.
Right. You're not like destroying your palate.
Yeah. Well, how about before we get into the old meat and potatoes, all you listeners out there, we appreciate you being here and checking out the Blue Ribbon Lounge podcast. If you like what you hear, check out the website, blueribbonlounge.com. How can they get a hold of us, Dave?
Blue Ribbon Lounge Moline at gmail.com.
Yeah, and on the website, there's a contact page as well. We love getting responses and stuff. A lot of what we get, Dave, is when we fuck up.
Yeah, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, we're just armchair scientists down here. So,
Beer stool.
oh yeah, barstool reporters.
Yeah. Bar stool. Yeah.
Bar belly.
Yeah. And we also have the YouTube.
Yep, YouTube. That's under my name. I'm Matt Nicky.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well.
All right. I was just saying you can comment there and click that bell and all that jazz.
All that hipster stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you want to support the podcast monetarily, check out shopabernathys.com, and they have some Blue Ribbon Lounge stickers and merch and stuff.
Right. And I think they have a contact page. Just go on there and randomly pick a name and then be like, we heard about you on the Blue Ribbon Lounge.
Yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
My wife loves hearing all about my fucking drunk beer podcasts. But yeah, thanks for listening. Meat and potato time.
Meat and potatoes. So what are we talking about today, Maddie?
You probably never heard of that 500,000 square mile area known as the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, the sinister polygon.
Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama.
Key Largo, Montego.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
don't we go get lost in the Bermuda Triangle?
Right. Disappear.
So what were you expecting when we checked this out? This was my choice.
Yeah.
I got to pick this one. Dave, you seemed a little disappointed at the choice.
I wasn't disappointed. I was just like, I've heard about this a lot.
Oh, okay. I guess I never checked into it very much.
Okay.
And you know what? I was expecting some sort of scientific explanation as to why this area is special.
Yeah.
And no spoilers until the end.
Okay.
But what I did find was a bunch of different stories about people getting lost in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Well, there's some big ones. I was just going to say that the Bermuda Triangle is kind of like one of the big three, I'd want to say, because if you look at the strange and supernatural, it's like the Bermuda Triangle, Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot.
Okay, I could see that. I thought that was where you were going.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have considered Loch Ness Monster one of the big three, but I think most people would. I think you're right about that. And I guess I say that just saying that like the Loch Ness Monster probably wouldn't have come first to my mind.
Oh, okay. Well, if you had to ask, like, well, I guess maybe aliens. If you had to say supernatural, ghost, aliens, Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Oh,
Bigfoot,
aliens, Bermuda Triangle, I would think.
Okay.
And then Ghost and Loch Ness Monster probably up there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I always thought it was kind of interesting. I did find out a lot of stuff I didn't know, really.
Did you know that it was touching the United States?
I had no idea. I thought it was some random spot in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, damn, the fucking Bahamas are super close to Florida.
Yeah.
Like, so where it is, where the Devil's Triangle is.
Yes.
So Miami, the bottom of Florida, you have 1,000 miles from Miami is Bermuda, and 1,000 miles from Bermuda to Puerto Rico, and 1,000 miles from Puerto Rico to Miami.
Oh.
About, when you're looking on a map,
it's an isosceles triangle.
Yes, Dave. It's about as close to an isosceles triangle as you can really get on a map. Which at first I was like, damn, it's got to mean something like a Stonehenge type, pyramid of Giza type, alignment thing. And so that really got me interested. Really revved the engines up when I was learning about it.
But then it kind of turns out that it's kind of fuzzy. It's a fuzzy triangle.
Yeah.
Because you said Puerto Rico, but I've also heard the Great Antilles, which is that whole like island chain right there. That's like Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic. It could be like, encompass that whole kind of area.
Yeah. So the oldest reference to it I found was Christopher Columbus.
Yep.
So on his first transatlantic voyage, 1492, he was recorded as seeing a fireball in the sky.
Yes, he said it was like a branch of fire that fell into the sea.
And then he was also recorded as seeing that his compasses were defective, not aligning to the North Star.
Yeah,
And then let me go to the last thing he was cited as saying was a strange light suspended above the ocean surface. So that's like in his writings, that's what he had said.
Yeah. Well, the one happened more into the Atlantic, and scholars kind of say that could be like an asteroid or something that you saw.
The fireball in the sky.
Yeah.
So with the way that the Earth is tilted on its axis, meteors and shooting stars are most common. It's in September. I mean, I don't know how that would affect space and stuff and why that would be, but
right.
I guess maybe it's like leaning up or something. You see more of space.
Well, it's there is a spot where like comets and asteroids and things go around, kind of like a belt. And then in September, you're more like leaning that way.
Oh, okay.
So that part of the sky is exposed to you. And well, then also if it comes in, you're going to see it a lot clearer too.
Yeah. And then the defect in compasses.
Yeah.
So it said that his compass didn't align north with the North Star.
Yeah. And that's being from Europe and usually only navigating in the northern hemisphere, your compass magnetic north will line up with the North Star. But then once you get down below the equator and also closer to these Aaronic lines, which is where true north and magnetic north match up. Your declination or whatever, where it's off, like
your magnetic declination.
yeah. And so when they were looking at the North Star and their compass, it wasn't matching. And then so in the morning, he was like, well, let's take another reading when the sun comes up, because that's always the same, I guess. And so when they took a reading versus when the sun came up, they're like, okay, we're good. And then there's also a part where like UFO enthusiasts and stuff say that he saw the stars spinning.
Okay.
That's not what happened. It's just north didn't match up. And his conclusion was that maybe it wasn't right above the pole, but like kind of went in a circle around the pole.
Okay.
So then when he put that the stars go around in his journal, then people read that later on and like, oh, you saw the stars spinning.
Yeah. I think it's some sort of flying saucer or something.
Right.
And then a strange light suspended above the ocean surface. A lot of people think that maybe that was just maybe some indigenous people having a bonfire or something.
Yeah.
And it was like the night before he had spotted land.
Yeah.
They had spotted land. It wasn't just him.
Right. And in his journal, it just said a small wax candle that rose and lifted up, which to few seemed to be an indication of land. And so people see that as like, what he meant by like rose and lifted up is like, you know, kind of like bobbing. But then when you're on a boat,
Yeah.
or if it's at the horizon, you know.
Yeah, and also like I mean, fires have a tendency to flare and die as new wood catches and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
between being on a boat and then the way that fire works, I think that all kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because there was another guy, Rodrigo Triana or something, that also spotted it. But he was almost like, the light was too faint. And he's like, I don't know if that's worth reporting. But then he asked like another crew member. He's like, hey, do you see that? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. But then, yeah, like you said, like a couple hours later, the next day, they run into land. Like,
So that was the first kind of like abnormal recordings from that area.
yeah.
The next one I got is December 5th, 1945.
1945.
Yeah.
Was that Flight 19?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that when that it was, or?
I did not write the date down,
Oh, okay.
but I know it was in December.
Yeah. So December 1945, 5 American Navy pilots in Avenger torpedo bombers got lost within the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
So they set out from, what was it? Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
And they were going to go on they leave Fort Lauderdale, they fly 46 miles. The plan is they're going to fly 46 miles to execute practice bombing runs at Hens and Chicken Shoals, a Navy proving ground. Then they're going to fly 67 miles to the Bahamas. I believe that would have been north.
Yeah.
And then finally 73 miles east back to Florida. That was the plan.
They were just going to make a triangle.
Yeah. And after they took off, they were never seen again.
Right.
Never visually seen again.
And the transmissions they got was from Lieutenant Charles Taylor.
Yep.
And he was saying how
So Lieutenant Charles Taylor was kind of the head of it. He had like 25,000 hours of flight time, 2,500 hours of flight time.
yeah.
And then he was with 4 newer pilots with just a couple hours of flight, 100 hours of flight time. When they had left, Taylor was going to be just kind of the support, and one of the other students was the lead.
Yeah.
And then now you go.
Then when they got going, at some point, Taylor thought that they flew over the Keys, like the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, you're way off. Like, you're doing this wrong. And so then he took over control.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, like, his compasses weren't working.
They were. There's a magnetic compass, which is like set to the Earth.
Yeah.
And then there's a digital compass type thing.
I could see that. Yeah.
Which from what I heard, when you take off, you kind of make sure that they're both set together.
Yeah.
So that one goes off like the position of the plane as you're turning and stuff. That'd be the digital compass. But then again, this is 1945.
Yeah.
And obviously technology is not what it was today.
No. Then it seems like Taylor was saying that he didn't recognize the sea or recognize where he was. And he also like didn't want help, it seemed like. And at one point he was like, let's just keep going east. And one of the trainees was like, I think we should fly west. And he's like, no, we're going east.
So a little bit of history on Charles Taylor. He was originally stationed in Miami.
Yeah.
And their test flying was generally over the Keys.
Right.
And then he was also based in a base in the Florida Keys.
Right. Before he went up to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. And so this was like his first trip or his first training run at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. And also before that, in World War II, he actually ditched his planes 3 times in the ocean.
Damn.
Twice because he got lost. And one time that they ruled wasn't his fault.
I think once being your fault is probably a reason to question your ability. But
I mean, when you're in the middle of a war, I guess you need all the pilots you can, even if they're fucking dumbasses.
Ditching fucking $1 million planes in the ocean. Oh,
yeah.
Yuck. But yeah, so they just kept flying northeast.
Yeah.
And they should have just went west. So as they got lost and their transmissions were intercepted, there was a plane that was sent out as a search and rescue, an ST-49.
Yeah.
Is that like, I think it was some sort of jumbo jet type thing?
It was like a boat plane.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those, like...
They can land in the water?
Yeah, you ever seen...
Those things are fucking fat.
Tailspin?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, just like that.
Hell yeah. Dude, planes that can land on water are fucking fire.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
It's cool.
But so ST-49 was sent to Rescue Flight 19 that was performing a trial run in the Bermuda Triangle. 23 minutes after takeoff, the ship was vanished. The plane vanished.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to like build some suspense.
Right.
And like kind of debunk it all at the end.
Oh, okay.
But I think we just finish these 2 stories.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So the trial run, the Flight 19 training run was supposed to be pretty much all within the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
And but the last few transmissions were not in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, and they said that he didn't consider it an emergency, so he didn't switch over to a emergency channel where they could add a clearer communication with them.
Which is crazy because they were talking about ditching planes.
Yeah, like once we get down to 10 gallons, stick together, we're going to ditch altogether.
Yeah, I don't understand how that wasn't an emergency situation.
Well, he's done it 3 times before.
Yeah,
he's
dude,
like,
we'll ditch these planes, we'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll just pick us up. It's cool.
And so their last reported transmission intake was way north of Miami.
Oh, yeah.
In Florida. And way north of Miami is where this ST-49 took off from.
Okay.
The ST-49 was never even in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, really?
And so 23 minutes after the ST-49 took off, a ship in the area reported a plane catching fire and crashing.
Yeah, and exploding when it hit the ocean.
Yeah.
And I guess that the Mariner, the ST
49.
49, the day before was grounded for to check out to see if they had engine malfunctions.
Mm-hmm.
And I also heard that make of plane had a loving nickname as the Air Bomb. Because they've been known to just explode.
Oh, gosh.
Especially back in the day when you could smoke in the plane. If there was like a tiny gas leak or something,
yeah.
and then someone lights their cigarette.
It just explodes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was there anything else you had seen?
About the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah.
There was the one interesting one, which was like in 1881, the Ellen Austin.
Okay.
They came across because it was like one of those 5-mast like sailing ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They came across another one that was completely empty, like no crew, no nothing.
Yeah.
So the captain is like sent some people on there. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna sail this back." They got separated, and then when they finally came back together, his crew was gone off the ship also, and then after negotiating, he got another crew to go on there. And then there was like I forget what they're called, but like a small storm, like a squall. Yeah. And then they disappeared.
I heard
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was the one that I was like, oh, that's like interesting.
Oh, I heard. So what I heard was, I didn't hear about all the ship jumping.
Okay.
But I had heard there was some sort of local to land boat. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but had seen what was the boat called?
Oh,
the Ellen.
Yeah, the Ellen Austin.
The Ellen Austin. They had seen the Ellen Austin, and the person they described that hailed them was not the person described to be the captain.
Oh, I think that was maybe.
Or am I getting that?
I have the names mixed up, but I know what you're talking about. That one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I have the names mixed up. We'll just say I have the names mixed up.
It doesn't matter.
But this other boat, that was sailing by, the person in the adjacent boat described who hailed to them as not the captain.
Yeah.
Or as he described them, and they determined that wasn't the captain. They later found, and the person that had hailed him said, "Hey, we lost our anchors."
Yeah.
And send help or something like that. When help finally came, they found the boat abandoned.
Yeah.
With no life rafts, no anchors, nothing of any value on it.
Yeah.
Like the steering wheel and all that stuff was smashed with a hammer.
Right.
And for that one, they think that there was maybe a mutiny aboard.
Yeah.
I guess right before takeoff, a couple of or at least one of the crew had an argument with the captain. The captain was like, no big deal.
It's like the first mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard they had a big scuffle and he actually went to jail, and the captain was like, he's all right, and bailed him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the Bermuda Triangle, the Flight 19 is kind of the most iconic.
Yeah, and there was the USS Cyclops, I think, before that kind of caught the attention because it did disappear. And then the odd thing about that is it's two sister ships, which I don't know if that means they were built at the same time or something. They ended up also disappearing.
So what I have kind of had heard was about one boat, 9 planes, and 135 civilians and crew were lost within the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, I have 50 ships, 20 planes. And I guess it keeps happening, the mysterious disappearance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But You want to get into explanations?
Yeah, sure. My favorite explanation is that Columbus saw a giant magnetic asteroid that fell in the area.
Yeah.
And that's what like fucks everybody's radar and stuff up.
I've heard that too.
That's my favorite.
I mean, it could be. I mean, they said he saw it more when he wasn't in the triangle, but who's to say that it didn't land in the triangle?
All adds up.
Yeah.
And that's the podcast. Thanks, everybody. What did you read about potential?
Well, it could be magnetic interference because supposedly like our core is not just like one magnetic field. There's actually a lot of different ones that interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some points, like it could fluctuate because like not that far from the Bermuda Triangle is the South Atlantic what's it called?
Trench?
It is anomaly. I don't know why I had trouble saying that word. Yeah, so not that far from the Bermuda Triangle is the South Atlantic anomaly, which is...
Anomaly is a great word.
Yeah, but it's where the magnetic field is the weakest.
Oh.
And they can fly satellites through it, but normally they'll time it so they go down to like the bare minimum of systems.
Okay.
Because the magnetic field is so weak that it lets in extra particles from space that can like fuck up all their systems on there.
Oh.
And they think it's because how the moon was formed is another planet-sized planet, or like ran into the Earth, and we kind of became two, and a piece of a chunk broke off, and then made the moon.
Oh.
And they think that's where that we got collided.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, which makes it like a weird, like weak spot. But then it's also like that declination line or whatever.
Yeah.
Where I guess previous to the 20th century, it used to run through the Bermuda Triangle. So it's either like you're adjusting for it and then you forget that you don't have to, and then it throws you all off, or that since it moved, you're used to adjusting for it, or you're used to not adjusting for it, and now you have to. So then that also throws your navigation off.
Yeah, I had heard that there's like, well, like to go along with that asteroid theory, that there's a high concentrate of magnetite, which is like a magnetic metal within the ground.
Right.
And so, like you were saying with those areas of magnetism, you know, that might be where there's like a large concentrate of some sort of deposit, and that kind of fucks with, you know, it's not a circle. Like the Earth isn't a circle.
Right.
You know, so like things aren't perfect, and that is maybe
a little part that's fucked up. Yeah, because there's also people that say there's the Hutchison effect, which I think is pseudoscience anyway. Because this dude Hutchison like did like magnetic waves with radio waves, and then it made like metal objects just like jump off his bench or like twist and like just glow and do all this weird shit. But I don't think they've ever recreated that or got to that experiment to work again. But, you know, theorists will be like, oh, that's what happens is because these two fields are interacting, it just causes fucking aircrafts to get yeeted into space.
I had also heard that there was a team of American scientists from the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
And they had studied and analyzed satellite images from the area. And they saw these weird formations of hexagonal clouds. And I was watching a video on it, and it looked to me like the hexagonal areas were not clouds, and it was cloudy everywhere else.
Yeah, like a hole.
Yeah. So it was like a hole, but it was like oddly like edged.
Yeah.
You know, clouds are like kind of a more natural shape. But within these clouds, they theorize, they call them like air bombs, and they cause deadly blasts of air which can easily blow up to 170 miles an hour, which is fast.
Right.
And then they also, so I mean, a plane flying through there, you're going to get blown way off course, or you're going to get blown so hard that maybe something falls off or fucks up on your plane and causes you to crash. Maybe.
Yeah, I've also heard that it's like a downward blast. Mm-hmm. So like that just push you
right into the water.
Right into the water. Yeah.
Yeah. And they can cause waves more than 45 feet high.
Yeah. Which kind of corresponds to that rogue wave theory that's also out there.
Yeah. And so, I mean, any sort of old boat or arguably new boat that's out there, it's a 45-foot wave.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to mess your boat up.
It is going to mess. Because those, even the big tanker ships, if they hit a wave just right, they can just snap in half.
Damn, that would be crazy.
Yeah, just to be like going over a wave and break in half.
Oh, yeah.
And that area of the Atlantic is also the deepest part of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're not going to find anything if it sinks way the fuck down there. Mm-hmm. And have you heard the methane bubble one? Where they think that deposits, like under the sea, there's deposits of methane gas. And they think that sometimes like it'll release a bubble. And when it does that, it can either ignite and, explode a ship, or it makes the ocean frothy. So then the ships become less buoyant and they would sink because you're pretty much like on a big air bubble, and your fucking 1,000-ton crater or carrier cargo ship is just going to fucking plummet down and get swallowed by the sea.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. But scientists have said there's methane gas all over the oceans, and there's been no like reported like incidents of this happening anywhere else. So that might be a debunked thing.
Yeah. So what I had heard is, in 1945 you had the Flight 19, and then you also really quick had that ST-49 and a bunch of other stuff back in the day, especially when radar wasn't as accurate as it is now. But there was two originally, and then describing these happenings happening within the triangle in Bermuda. Not until the article in the Argosy magazine was it coined that it was the Bermuda Triangle, and the column was called "Lost in the Bermuda Triangle."
Yeah, and that was Vincent Gaddis that coined that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess it was more loosely based on fact. Like it's one of those like any book about the Bermuda Triangle, or even like Us, you're just kind of repeating what you've heard.
Yeah.
And nobody really has ever been like, oh, well, let me like actually look at flight records and this and that. And so it's just becomes like a myth that builds on itself.
Yeah. Well, and so the Argosy is like a magazine for cryptids and
mysteries and stuff like that.
And so within that article, there was all sorts of like fake quotes, or at least inaccurate quotes,
right? And
like misinformation and stuff. So like here's some other titles of articles that they've had: California's Abominable Snowman.
Okay.
Atlantis, the legend is becoming fact. The Synthetic Men of Mars, and Lost on Venus. So to me, it sounds like a very like Bat Boy, Elephant Man type magazine.
Like a pulpy kind of magazine. Yeah, people that are reading it are...
You'd call it a rag or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
which I think there's a great place for. I think those are super fun.
Yeah, they can be.
But you have people that I think get their information from it without looking it up for themselves.
Yeah.
Like you said, like us, we're just trying to get your gears spinning, and
Right.
and go look up some stuff for yourself.
Yeah, and I think also people like the Bermuda Triangle because it's just a mystery for mystery's sake. Like, hey, that's a spooky place, but I mean,
yeah, like there was a few stories like the one you were talking about. Maybe it was the Ellen whatever boat, that I had maybe gotten that mixed up with another story too. But like some stories can be logically solved, and there's gonna be things out there that you can't explain because the moment has passed. There's not enough information.
Right. And they also say that like some of the stuff like, oh, it went missing and they just happened to leave out that it was during a hurricane or during a storm.
Yeah.
Or they would also like pull things into the triangle that happened outside of the triangle.
Yeah, like some of those things you were talking about on the Christopher Columbus, and then Flight 19 happened, plenty of miles above the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, and a lot of boats there's like, oh, they're going from Texas to like Virginia. And it's like, okay, well then they're only really in the triangle for a little bit.
Yeah. And I could imagine people saying, oh, he was lost at sea, and then it's become, oh, what kind of weird anomalies are at sea? Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
And like I said in the beginning of it, I didn't know it was attached at all to the United States. I thought it was just some weird spot in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it kind of is because there's the Sargasso Sea, which is right there, which is shoreless sea because it's the only sea that doesn't touch land.
Okay.
And it's called that because like it rotates from like left to right, like clockwise.
Okay.
But it's like the Gulf current and then the North Atlantic current and then coming back around is the Canary current, like where
so that's like it's three borders or whatever.
Yeah, like where the Love Raft would have came in.
Ooh.
And then
throw back to the Love Raft episode.
And
I
then
wonder did they go through the
I think they went
Triangle?
under because they were on like the south of like Cuba.
Yeah, and then they had to like there was like that big hurricane they were trying to avoid.
Yeah, so they super skirted it.
Yeah.
But all the currents right there make like a little whirlpool where right in the middle is super calm.
Oh, really?
And so like back in the day when you relied on sails and stuff, they would get stuck there. And if you're stuck there for a couple days, you start running out of food. And then there's also like this huge thing of seaweed that grows there.
That's cool.
And it can get so big that like I think they said Columbus first mistook it for land until they got up to it. And I could see like if you're in a boat and you get stuck and then you're starving and then you think there's land and you jump off and then all of a sudden you're stuck in seaweed, maybe your boat can get abandoned that way and just kind of drift aimlessly.
Yeah, like you're saying if your boat is powered by wind and there's all of a sudden a weird calm spot, I mean, that could be, a cause to get lost and an anomaly in the water, which is what people say the Bermuda Triangle is.
Yeah, and there's even theories that because it's like kind of like a vortex, because how the current goes, that it might even spin off little smaller like eddies that might be big enough to turn the boat around or suck it down.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
the ocean's a scary, dangerous place.
It is very scary.
It incites violence.
It can, yes.
when your captain splashes everybody in the face,
right, and start killing sharks.
I want to listen to that Love Raft episode again. That was a good one.
It wasn't too bad.
I don't listen to a lot of episodes again because I do all the editing.
Right.
But that one I might have to listen to it again. It was fun.
All
right. That's all I had on the Bermuda Triangle, Dave.
Yeah, so you had nothing about the vile vortices and all that?
No. Okay, there was one. I did not get too deep into this video, but it was talking about these the Flight 19 going into the Bermuda Triangle, and then one of them sees a spaceship, and then the spaceship doesn't have time to attack him, even though he thinks he's getting. They see the alien in his spaceship licking his lips because he's going to devour the human flesh.
Oh no!
But they don't. He doesn't. The alien doesn't get time to eat him because the lost city of Atlantis enacts their flame crystal, and then that pulls all the planes down. And I was just like, I'm out.
Oh, okay. Well, then one got spotted on the crater inside the moon, on one of the craters up there. But then, and the guy who was looking at it said the serial number matched one of the missing planes. But then when he went to go get somebody to confirm it, the plane was gone.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What a telescope!
Right?
They've been looking through the Hubble.
Something. And then there's also a story where like somebody was looking through a telescope at Mars and then saw the planes in formation, but going like 60,000 miles an hour across the surface of Mars. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because it's a portal, man. That's where the Martians came in, because the Atlanteans were actually the Seraphim, and when they were done giving the Egyptians and the Mayans and the people in Eastern Island and some people in like Japan these secrets to like be humans and like build big technologies, they left, and they left a power vacuum, and then the Martians, who had been slowly like killing their planet, came down in that vacuum and took over, and then started abusing the people of Earth. And the Atlanteans came back and like blew up their place, and so like that's when the big flood happened, and then everybody, all the like tribes of the world got scattered, and that's like Babylon or whatever from the Bible.
It's the only explanation.
It is.
Damn, Dave. That was
All right.
deep.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
I got nothing. You got speechless over here. I got nothing. In the end, I was pretty disappointed. I arced it. I was really excited when they started talking about like the area and like possible anomalies and stuff, and it spiked me. And then I got pretty disappointed when I found like 80% of the things attributed to the Bermuda Triangle didn't even happen in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
And then I was spiked again now, just like talking about it to you.
Yeah.
It is a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
That's cool.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Excellent. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Check out Shop Abernathy's if you want a sticker or something. Check us out, bluermanlounge.com. And you guys be good to yourselves.
Yeah, and remember, only 60% of Americans tip, so don't be part of the problem.
So long.
See ya.
Oh, we just fucking lost everything.
Oh, shit. What just...
Oh, no, it looks like it's still going.
Okay.
Thank God.